Hello everyone and welcome. Today I got something a little different in store. What if Dark Souls, but has gun? I go ahead and make my character, making sure to take the pendant as I kinda actually need it, and name my character 117. In hindsight, I should have just called him John because, you know, John Dark Souls, and that's Master Chief's name, but whatever. So first off, a big shout out to the interdimensional being currently known as Inferno Plus for creating this mod because it goes way over the top with like a billion additions, and I just can't fathom the amount of work that he put into it. Second shout out is to Ravenomics for posting a video of all the weapon locations. Some of them are pretty well hidden, and since I wanted this video to come out within this century, I had to look it up. That being said, I am about to spoil the locations of all the weapons that were in his videos, so if you want to play this mod for yourself and discover them, maybe look away from time to time. Also, that video is a couple of years old at this point, so there might have been more added that I don't know about, but who knows. Anyway, I talked to Oscar, who gives me my orange juice and then promptly dies, then mosey on over to this corner right here and use the pendant and plasma pistol. And like a bajillion ammo. That's nice. Holy shit, 125 physical and 415 fire damage? That's, well, pretty hot honestly. Let's see how this bad boy fares. Oh, I can already tell this is gonna be fun. In Firelink, I pump Vitality because as far as I can tell, none of the guns scale with anything, so health and endurance are probably the way to go. Also, look! Bloodstains! I kinda forgot this mod is online, despite the insane amount of work that Mr. Plus put into the deathmatch maps. Pew pew! God, I love video games. I rarely mod anything I play because I am lazy, honestly, but I won't lie, this mod just makes me so giddy and excited. That being said, I don't really have a plan, nothing like one gun per boss or with only the amount of ammo that I'm given, so this is honestly more of a, well, a showcase of how silly it can be and my experience playing it. Don't let that fool you though, I had some rough times. Also, Squirrel Ring, another new thing. This basically lets you cosplay as an NBA player. I make my way through the upper Undead Burg with literally no problems at all, as the Hollow Soldiers here are ill-equipped to get a face full of Covenant science, and quickly find myself at the Taurus Demon. This is insane, I love this. You know what's crazy? This is only the plasma pistol. It's been a minute since I played Halo, but I feel like this is one of the weakest weapons. I mean, sure, a charge shot can incapacitate a vehicle for a moment, but like every other weapon in the Halo games is just better at murder, which if you haven't noticed, this game is full of future Swiss cheese models and not Banshees. Well, no wait, there are Banshees in New Londo, but what I meant was it's not full of ghosts. Well, no, there are those too, but I meant... Okay, I might have made a mistake. A new mechanic this mod added is, this thing. As far as I can tell, hit stun might have been increased. Either way, when you get hit, if you press left or right on the D-pad, you can shorten the time you're locked in place. Even if the hit stun time didn't increase, this makes it a little bit more skill-based for how you can survive encounters, and yes, I totally died a few times by not utilizing this mechanic. Anyway, I think it's time to grab my second gun. If I walk onto this beam here and use the pendant at the end of it... Oh, the SMG, okay. Not a personal favorite of mine, but I appreciate its addition in Halo 2. Let's see how it fares here. Okay, low damage and absolutely chews through ammo. And I apparently have to manually reload weapons. I didn't notice that with the plasma pistol on account of it, you know, not needing to be reloaded. I'm also checking every vendor to see if they have new items, and Andre actually does, a few new types of arrows and bolts. Not something I'll be using on this run, but again, the sheer amount of stuff added with this mod is insane. Also, I learned I can make my strong weapons even stronger with Demon Titanite. Neat. I head back to Firelink Shrine, but not before stopping to... Wait, I don't remember there being an item there. Okay, I'll check that out in a second. I need to drop onto this ledge to get my next weapon, the Magnum. Oh, hell yeah. If this is meant to be like the one from Combat Evolved, the game just got way easier. But first, I really want to know what that item is. A Titanite Pebble? What, like I can combine it to make shards or something? No, they're fist weapons? What? Alright, well now I have Lightning Hadouken, so that's cool. Clearly it's not a Halo weapon, but like, why do I do karate now? Okay, so at this point, I'm kind of feeling like a god and completely unstoppable, so I figured I would go fight the Stray Demon for some easy souls. Oh, you take very little damage. Oh! So, I couldn't kill the Stray Demon. He kicked my ass right off the pedestal I was on. I haven't really talked about how these weapons function, so you can obviously zoom in and fire that way, but you're also able to lock on and fire at things. One of the problems with that, though, is if you stop moving while locked on, the location you shoot at is the last place you were aiming while you were moving. This isn't a massive issue when the target has an ass the size of Jupiter, but for smaller enemies, it causes some misses. The second, and much deadlier problem, is that once you decide to aim down sights, you have to fire, dodge, or wait a second to put the gun down. But if you fire, you can't dodge immediately. It's basically the same as a melee weapon. You have to choose when to commit to shooting. Honestly, that's probably done for balancing reasons, and I respect that. That being said, it also caused me to get smashed way more times than I care to admit. A charged plasma pistol shot did do enough damage to show me yellow, but I wasn't able to get out of the way fast enough. To be fair, I think I could have dodged sooner than I could sprint here, so I might have just skill issued all over the place, I'm not sure. Also, I might be hallucinating this, but I feel like the Estus is healing for way less than normal. Well, whatever, I decided I would just come back for the Stray Demon with stronger weapons. Hello, Oscar. Goodbye, Oscar. You know, I can never remember what way the Black Knight is, but I have a 50-50 of picking the correct direction. Oh god, I picked wrong. Eventually, I grabbed the doll and escaped the asylum for a second time. On my way up to the gargoyles, I learned bullets can pierce things, which, I mean, yeah, I guess that makes sense. Speaking of gargoyles though, they got absolutely annihilated. It only takes a dozen or so magma shots to bring down the one with full health, and obviously less than that for the half-health one. And then ring the bell and check in with Oswald to see if he has anything new. He does. Looks like faith builds are going to get even stronger. Can't wait to attempt my martyrdom only challenge. That's new. I think I tried to jump here but didn't have the stamina, so I fell over, maybe? I'm not completely sure, honestly. I make sure to grab the basement key because I don't actually have the master key, then level up health and endurance a bit more. Since I was still a bit salty about the Stray Demon, I figured it was a good idea to upgrade my weapon a little, so I shot this Titanite Demon to death. Speaking of weapons getting stronger though, I figured it was time for a new one, so I decided to American my way through the Darkroot Garden to this secluded corner. Ah, the plasma rifle, one of my personal favorites. I also grabbed the wolf ring while I'm here because, I don't know, I just kinda did. I mean, I never go this way, so I figured I might as well. Plus, I'm currently mostly naked, and my character only has pants on, so the extra poise might help. Time for the Moonlight Butterfly. Yeah, I don't think this is going to be an issue. Although I did learn something valuable in this fight. When you run out of ammo, the game gifts you more. I've been wondering how to get more bullets, and I guess materializing them in my inventory is one way to do it. Well, with machine guns ready to go, out of the butterfly the bullets rip, and I grab the Watchtower basement key and return to Firelink to show Lautrec that silver beats gold. Now, with Fapring in hand, I make my way to Lower Undeadburg, where I meet another undead merchant who has a couple new things for sale. I don't know if she has every Dark Souls 2 armor piece in the mod, but she sure has a lot of them. I already had a plan for what fashion I wanted to use, but that is a ways off, so maybe after some more souls I'll buy something. Conveniently, there is a boss right down the road. Who knew giving a medieval peasant a gun would make them unstoppable? Anyway, I decided to go with the Farum chest and legs because, I don't know, choice paralysis I guess. The problem is that I have relatively low endurance and I'm only mid-rolling. Also, for some reason the legs weren't textured and are completely black. This actually got fixed later without me doing anything, so I have no idea why it happened here. Into the depths I go where I save Laurentius. Why? I don't know, just feeling charitable I guess. And at this point I decided to try the plasma rifle, which yeah, it kinda slaps. It doesn't have to be reloaded, but similar to the plasma pistol, it can overheat, so firing in short controlled bursts is a must, which is fine because most things eat it after a couple shots anyway. But with that being said, I think it's time to grab another weapon. Oh baby, yes please. Similar to the Magnum, the combat evolved version of the assault rifle is an absolute beast of a weapon. Now, I know this isn't Halo itself, and these weapons aren't balanced the same way those games are, but I'm really hopeful that this thing will shred enemies. So hopeful, in fact, I did not use it against the Gaping Dragon. Why? Because plot twist, I don't know. Anyway, the plasma rifle is more than enough to handle this dentist's wet dream of a boss, especially when he lowers his head. Honestly, it's probably the most amount of damage I've done to him outside of the one-shot run, and before long, the Gaping Dragon is now the dead dragon. Look, jokes are hard, okay? Nomal doesn't sell anything new, though I do buy the bottomless box from him to begin my descent into Blighttown. As expected, the assault rifle can handle these enemies no problem. It's not really the best at long-range combat, but as the enemies don't have guns, they have no choice but to close the distance. Sure would suck if I had to fight something that also had firearms. Ha! Anyway, even if the assault rifle isn't great at long range, you know what is? The battle rifle. Accurate, deadly, and makes a great banging sound, but enough about my ideal partner, let me tell you about this weapon. It fires a 3-round burst, and because of the bullets being able to stun smaller enemies, not much stands a chance if I see it first. I make my way through the Bath of Blighttown without an issue. Now, there is another weapon I could go get in Ash Lake, one that is, probably really good. The problem is I don't want to have to climb back out of the Great Hollow, so I decided to skip it until I had the Lord Vessel, so I make my way over to Quelaag, and I forgot the ring! So I'm sure most of you know this, but if you hit her in her human half, it'll stun her for a second. On bow runs, that means you can essentially take her down for free. Are you surprised that bullets make this fight easy then? Well, because I had to reload, she did actually have time to retaliate. I could have switched to the plasma pistol or rifle to stop that, but I mean, it's Quelaag, she's not hard. You probably thought I was gonna make a joke there, didn't you? Nah, that's too easy. Like Quelaag. After her untimely demise, I ring the second bell and open the gate to Sin's fortress. I then head downstairs to meet her sister, but a man was in my way. A man that looked suspiciously like the Flood. I sure hope he didn't have anything cool in his inventory. Climbing my way out of Blighttown, for once in my life, I take the time to clear this side area for the Firekeeper's soul. Obviously not a problem, then I emerge back in Firelink. At this point, there wasn't much else to do, so I just head straight for Sin's fortress. That Snake Man apparently has the Squirrel Ring as well. Since there are a whopping 4 Titanite demons here, I thought I would take them down for the easy demon Titanite. Sure, this would have been easier with a Rusted Iron Ring, but I mean, it's already pretty easy. Let me know in the comment below if you get why seeing this weapon makes me irrationally angry. I bone out and ask Andre to upgrade my weapons. I wasn't sure which one would be the best, but I decided for now to go with a plasma rifle because it felt like the most damaging and didn't have the reloading to hold it back. At this point, the rest of Sin's fortress is pretty normal. Avoid the saws, balls, and snake ladies, then hit the hidden bonfire. But I do have to drop down onto this beam to get my next weapon. The carbine, another classic. Honestly, I kind of preferred it to the battle rifle, but I'm not really sure why. I attempted to shoot the Iron Golem from outside the boss arena, but it turns out that I'm not Baron's castle, so this did nothing. Inside the arena, though, it's a different story. My shots don't do a lot, but I mean, it's an unupgraded weapon, that's kind of expected. The plasma rifle fares a bit better at least, though as many times as I blast his kneecap, he never goes into a staggerable state. I wonder if that's because the plasma weapons are designed to never do that, or if it's the ballistic weapons as well. Either way, he goes down and I am whisked away to Anorlando, City of Gold. Wait, no, that's El Dorado, my bad. Pump Vitality to 41, then cheese the ever-living shit out of both gargoyles. Grab some Demon Titanite from a chest, and then show the Painted Guardians who the real master of the rafters is. Okay, fine, I relinquish my title as Master of the Rafter. Properly making this jump allows me to collect my next weapon, the Beam Rifle. 1. This thing hits like a truck. And 2, I'm starting to realize that bullets in this mod don't have a maximum travel distance, they just hit scan infinitely. Which means I am the Anorlando Archer now, bitch. What do you mean you can block concentrated photons or whatever this weapon is firing? I'm no theoretical physicist, but that doesn't seem right. Or light. Listen, you're telling me that my particle accelerator of a weapon couldn't pierce a Silver Knight's shield, but that anvil-headed idiot's pole can phase through walls? Yeah, okay game, whatever. I blow his kneecap out through the doorway like I should have always done, then take the hawk ring from the giant blacksmith. I wasn't completely sure that the bullet-using weapons didn't have drop-off, so I wanted this for a little later, for, fun. Anyway, it's time for Truth and Mercy. Now, you'd probably think this fight is easy considering I have literal alien technology and... I mean, yeah, but it still had the hallmarks of a ranged fight, meaning while I could hit them from far away, and for a lot in the case of the beam rifle, I still had to deal with the weird timings of fighting ranged in this game. Eventually, I drop Ornstein and the hard part of the encounter is now over. With only one left, I really do just have to play keep away and take the occasional pot shot or two. And after just a couple of minutes, the dynamic duo is defeated. Hey Cortana, you looking a bit different. It's your hair, isn't it? You changed your hair. With Lord Vessel in hand, I return to Framp to actually make sure I place it because let's be real, I forget to do that virtually every time, then talk to Laurentius who I had completely forgotten about. Wait, what was that? The Rapid Flame? What does that even mean? Also, he had a new spell for sale, but that's for a future video maybe, I don't know. If y'all want to see more of this, let me know because I did happen across several things that look fun, and while you're at it, why not consider dropping a like and subscribing? We're well on our way to 10 billion subscribers and we only need a little push. I figured I might as well return to grab the Rusted Iron Ring as I was already in Firelink, despite it not having a huge use at this point, but meh hey. Also, I wanted to get my revenge on the Stray Demon. I still don't do a lot of damage to him even with my new weaponry, but it is much more than before, and after about a minute and a half, the world is balanced once again. Since I had the ability to warp around and the Iron Ring, I figured it was a good time as any to scale down the Great Hollow. Well, that's a reset. Oh, I'm alive? What? No one tell JK Lead's wife what I'm doing here. In Ash Lake, I made quick work of the Hydra for no reason aside from asserting dominance, and then over in this hollow tree trunk on the mushroom is... the Sniper Rifle. This thing does comparable damage to the Beam Rifle, but has the added benefit of using one bullet per shot with the obvious drawback in that it needs to be reloaded after 4 shots. I upgraded to +2, making it even more insane, and then head back to the guard. I had a specific reason for winning a long-range rifle that I will share in just a moment, but first, anyone want to tell me why this cleric tried to cast something with his mace? Whatever, a bit further in, I encounter Sif, the inspiration for my channel's avatar. And if you like either of them, then perhaps you should click the link in the description for a similar, yet due to international copyright laws, legally distinct wolf on a t-shirt, available for a great deal. So there's actually a cheese with Sif, which is why I went to get the sniper rifle. If you jump on the rocks to the left of her boss door, you can get a vantage point on her with range, except here she's taking, well, not 0 damage, it's reflecting the correct amount of damage numbers, but her health bar isn't moving. That sucks. I was excited to do this and not have to look her in the face while old yellowing her. I know we content creators make jokes about this being emotional damage and whatnot, but I do legitimately feel bad for shooting the limping dog. Well, with that good doggo taken care of, nothing is stopping me from going to the Four Kings. Over in New Londo, I pick up some transient curses. Yet again, my interest is piqued, but unfortunately I don't have the stats to use this, so I don't know what it does. Anyway, I was kinda hopeful that Plasma would hurt Ghost without being cursed, but it doesn't. Oh well, I grabbed the nearby Firekeeper's soul and my next weapon. Oh yeah, now we're talking. Does Shotgun beat Ghost? Absolutely, holy shit, that just obliterated him. I might have found my new favorite weapon. A sort of hidden upside is that you can actually fire while in the middle of loading shells, so if you need just a bit more damage while reloading, it just works. Next, I need to go through the Ghost House, which sounds like a pain. Or I could just dome Ingwer, that works too. Alright, you ethereal screwheads, you see this? This is my boomstick. After draining the city, I grab the red Tearstone ring. I don't know if I'll end up using it, but why not? Time for the Four Kings. Damage is acceptable. Most of the attacks can be strafe, so it became really easy to just walk to the right while firing. And in no time, the kings corrupted by the Abyss are liberated by liberty. Again, my interest is piqued, but another weapon for another day. For a change of pace, I thought I would head to the Painted World, and let me tell you, this ballroom area is much easier when you have a sniper rifle. I make a jump to this little plank of wood, definitely on my first try, and that's where I pick up the Needler. Whoa, what, excuse me, I have plasma grenades? So as I would later find out, there are frags, sticky, and spike grenades, and you can throw them by jump attacking with a certain type of weapon out. I think they just have charges that passively regen, but honestly, I'm not sure. Either way, let's talk about the Needler. It didn't work for me. The way it worked in Halo is that if you took enough small pricks, they would explode in you, but no matter how many times I shot the undead dragon, there was no kaboom. It also hardly does any damage per needle, which is fair, that part I would expect. But you want to see something I didn't expect? Yeah, she T-poses when you stick her with a grenade. That's something alright. It also caused her to not go invisible, which is cool actually. This might be the first time I've ever properly fought her, and she has some nice fluid animations for a boss that usually spends 95% of the encounter invisible. I actually stuck with the Needler for this fight because I thought she would go invisible and I could track her easier that way, but also there's basically no danger in this encounter, especially at range, so I don't mind the low damage. Eventually she goes down and I do the only acceptable thing after harming her, which is to throw myself off a bridge. The Duke's Archives would be the next logical step, but I decided to pivot back to the Demon Runes. Originally, I wanted to fight Ceaseless properly, but then he did an attack I had never seen before, which unfortunately had a hitbox on it that I had seen many times before. On my second try, since he had to come to me, I figured I would teach him a lesson with the sniper rifle. The lesson was, don't mess with the guy that has a sniper rifle. For fun, I then had some target practice on the Capra and Taurus demons in the area before gearing up for the Demon Fire stage. Now, I wasn't super sure how this fight was going to go. The Stray Demon gave me some troubles, and this arena is even smaller than that one, plus it has random tree branches on the ground for me to get caught on. On the upside, the shotgun still slaps. At some point, for some reason unknown to me, the Fire Sage decided to lore walk right into my sniper rifle. Why he did this? I have no idea, but honestly, I'm not complaining. I think it's about time for our next weapon. On these stairs here, I can grab the Brute Shot. Nice, I didn't use this weapon a whole lot in the Halo games, hopefully it's good here. That's not promising, but oh well. I apparently completed all the camo challenges in that last fight. Right, next up is the Centipede Demon versus the Brute Shot. Oh god, I have made a mistake. Did I say Brute Shot? What I meant was Old Faithful, the shotgun. I don't really understand the balancing of these weapons. Some of them feel way too powerful and others not anywhere near what they should be. I mean, I don't recall the Brute Shot being an uber powerful weapon in Halo, but I mean, it is a grenade launcher, which was doing less than the Magnum, so something seems fishy. Also, just a fair warning, if you haven't noticed, I'm playing the original Prepare to Die edition, which in Lost Izalith is actually the Prepare to Have Your Retinas Burned Out from Bloom edition. Now, the reason I came this way first wasn't for the Brute Shot. I mean, if it had been, I'd be severely disappointed, but the real reason is this Titanite demon that drops 2 Demon Titanite and always respawns. As you can see, the sniper rifle makes him an absolute joke. I can just stand well outside of his aggro range and shoot him. Then open the shortcut door, and thanks to the now active elevator near the Daughters of Chaos bonfire, it is a completely safe way to farm as many Demon Titanite as I need to level up any of my weapons. But since I was in town anyway, I figured I'd pay a visit to the Bed of Chaos. My initial plan was to use the Brute Shot's explosions to hit the balls from far away. Yeah, sure, it worked, but not as well as I had hoped, as I had to get relatively close to the first one, and as I was retreating, I fell in a hole. Let it be known that even with guns, this boss is still bullshit. I always do the jump the gap strat for the left orb, but since I am ranged, I can get it without even needing to, without needing to jump the gap. Then for the entrance, I just got lucky sprinting in without it bothering me and sprayed down the trunk, attempting to clear my way, which had a couple of bullets hit the boss. Next, I thought I would head to the Duke's Archive, but before doing so, I wanted to set up for the DLC. As you can imagine, the sniper rifle handles the Hydra easily, and I saved Dusk. I do not fear death because of invisible enemy walls. I take my mandatory fearless death to Seath and wake up in prison. Now that's what I call mood music. I think it's finally time to pick up another weapon. The Spartan Laser. Hell yes. What the fuck was that? That is the most limp dick Spartan laser blast I've ever seen! What, is this the PetSmart kitty laser toy pointer? Where is my Uber death ray? Joking aside, I toyed around with this weapon and it seems to fire multiple lasers, but even if a lot of them hit, it just feels insanely underwhelming. Just to make sure I wasn't missing or hitting a shield or something, I tried it on Seath's one big ball, and yeah, no, it just isn't strong. Also, fun fact, while performing a vasectomy in the style of Doom Guy, there were so many particles it caused my game to lag. Why is that fun? Well, clearly for Seath it's not, but for me it sure is. I also tried to shoot off his tail, but was unable to. Either way, that's another Lord Soul down. Last up is the Catacombs, which is amazingly easy to clear when you can deliver hot lead to the undead. Oh hey, I sorta did a JK there. Grab the Darkmoon Seance Ring and do some kind of Shaun of the Dead Winchester bar style standoff with the skeletons instead of zombies, then grab my next weapon, the Spiker. More on that in a second, but first let me just drive home how not powerful the Spartan Laser is. It can't kill Pinwheel. I actually almost died to his, second phase, if you can call it that, but some automatic fire sorts out his clones and his low health issue. Now, about the Spiker. It's not bad, it's just not particularly useful. If I were making a tier list of weapons, it would solidly go right in the middle, and that's about the best way I can describe it. Luckily, the next weapon is right around the corner. The Mauler, aka Shotgun Light. I didn't end up using this much either, but it actually did seem pretty good. It does comparable damage to the shotgun and doesn't require individual shell reloading. One thing that I wish did exist in this mod is the ability to one-hand the smaller firearms, so you could either dual-wield them or have a shield in your offhand. I don't think you can one-hand crossbows, so that would likely involve a whole extra layer of modding to make work, and not to mention the additional animations required, so I totally get why that doesn't exist. Not that I'm complaining, this project is already massive, and to say it needs more would, at best, be disrespectful to Mr. Plus, who put much time and effort into it. Anyway, where was I? Ah yes, Nito. So, despite my shotgun being the great equalizer, it does not have holy damage, so the Skelebros in the arena have to constantly take a dose of lead, or occasionally whatever Nito's sword is made of. The fight did get a little hairy at times, which is exacerbated by the fact that I would dodge incorrectly and get a deep tissue toxic sword colonoscopy. In the end though, it doesn't even matter as the Gravelord falls. Next I head back to Anor Londo for another optional boss. Hey Jane, yeah, so I died in an embarrassing way here. Don't show that, okay? Thanks. Hey Gwendolyn, remember the time I tried to cheese you with arrows? Well, this time I got something a little extra deadly. Sorry lady, I need your Firekeeper soul. And a fucking shotgun, how do you think? So I believe that only leaves Gwen and the DLC. Normally I don't even open the way to the kiln for narrative purposes until after clearing everything else, but this time I had a reason. See, if I run over to this little area in the back, I can get the next weapon. The rocket launcher. Oh, those are some big damage numbers, and after making it a +5, it's even more insane. You know, I've made this joke in a couple videos before, but you know I have to now. Parry this, you fucking casual. Yeah, this is gonna be fun. With almost every weapon in hand, I make my way back to Darkroot Garden, making sure to stop and say hello to Havel. First up in the DLC Not So Pain Train is the Sanctuary Guardian. I've got a good feeling about this. Let's just skip straight to Artorias. Surely he'll put up a better fight, right? Well, yes and no. So first, it was kind of hard to hit him with the rockets, but when I did, it was big damage, at least relatively speaking. The problem, of course, is that he would dodge my projectiles. I could just wait for him to start buffing, but then he takes drastically reduced damage. In the end though, I outspaced his swipe, which let me connect 2 shots, and he decided to start his buff phase, which let me have enough time to reload and finish the job. You might be surprised to hear that clearing my way through Ulasil with a rocket launcher is absurdly easy. You know what's not easy though? The secret optional boss that will award the final weapon if beaten. Corrupted Master Chief is one of the most fights of all time. First thing to note, his battle rifle does way more damage than mine. Second, as I'm sure you can see, he summons things. Oh, did I mention he has an absolutely insane amount of health? Like, he's taking rocket shots like it's nothing. Putting on armor helped with his battle rifle, but on one of my better attempts with a rocket launcher, mind you, I spent just over 3 minutes and hardly got him a quarter of the way dead. I tried. I really did, but I just couldn't. I guess it's not surprising. How could a medieval undead beat Master Chief? So with head hung in shame, I dived into the abyss and attempted to cheese Manus, but unsurprisingly, he too has the, I don't know, the out of boss arena damage prevention spell. In boss arena though, he gets absolutely clapped by rockets. It is a bit awkward to reload. He's just fast enough to where outside of specific windows it's dangerous, but shotgun. Manus, like many before him, goes down on the first attempt. Originally, I wanted to do Calamite where he didn't land. I mean, assuming he didn't have any protection, which I don't know why he would, considering even in vanilla you can do this. It should be pretty easy with rockets or a sniper rifle. The problem I ran into is that I'm stupid and didn't look up how to do it, so I died. Fortunately, after he's grounded, rockets make quick work of him at a distance, then my trusty shotty handles the close encounters. Calamite dies on the second, well, technically third try. Now, at this point, all I had to do was go beat Gwyn and the run was done. But something inside of me said I couldn't just give up on the Master Chief fight. I mean, how could I say I was Master Chief if I didn't kill Master Chief? That's not how identity theft works, and it's not a joke. So I went and grabbed Havel's armor for some more protection and the Ring of Steel protection for even more protection. My first plan was to use the beam rifle because high damage and sticky grenades with some alluring skulls to distract enemies. Master Chief himself isn't terribly hard to handle, it's all the damn adds that he can summon. The increased armor and poise did help a lot, but it still wasn't enough. Also, I don't really know how plasma grenades work. I have health, but still died, so that's a thing. I haven't really talked about it, but Master Chief has phases, which are basically just what guns he can use. At this point, the most deadly one is his beam rifle phase for the exact reasons I said I plan to use that. The difference is that his rifle absolutely obliterates my health bar. After many attempts, the combination I settled on was rocket launcher for high damage and plasma rifle for consistent lower damage against adds and the plasmas for Chief himself. Oh, also 99 alluring skulls and humanities, don't ask how I got those though. The strategy was basically to throw a skull, shoot a rocket, repeat ad nauseum. It had to be done this way because if Master Chief at any point made me his target, I was at risk of being turned to red paste. Fortunately, he is distracted by these skulls too. I don't know why, but I will just consider that a win. Also, just to show you, he progressively summons more and more stuff. Just look at this. Several humanities, a few dogs, a wheelie boy, an angry vagrant. Just how would you ever do this without cheesing with the skulls? In the end though, I learned that he too does not understand how the plasma grenades work. So, what's my reward for that encounter? Well, several sets of armor and the energy sword. Now, to finish the fight. That's way less damage than I thought it would be. My first go at Gwyn was messy and I wasn't able to pull out the win. So the energy sword, as respectfully as I can say this, kind of feels like a huge step down from the guns. It almost feels like it was the first weapon added and the Mr. Plus was like, oh, well what if I add all the weapons? In other words, it really just feels like a palette swap, but what is it a palette swap of? Well, I noticed that the rolling attack is another roll into a stab, which I'm pretty sure is only done by the claw weapon. In other words, this, as far as the game is concerned, should be classed as a fist weapon, and thus the Challenger Andy patent-pending perfect SS Gwyn parry strat should work. And it does. It's probably the only time I'll ever get a chance to use this strat, so you better believe I took it. With Gwyn defeated, Master Chief links the fire, giving the world of Lordan hope for a new era. Thank you everyone for watching, and an extra special thanks to my patrons. Stay beautiful, y'all. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more right now, why not consider subscribing to my Patreon, because for as little as $3 a month, you can support me and the channel directly and see my next upload right now. But until next time, my friends, don't you dare go hollow.